Do you want to know the secret to making crispy banana chips and not those chewy things that you think that you keep getting in your dehydrator? Today I'm going to tell you that secret. So hi, I'm Darcy from the Purposeful Pantry, and today we're talking about the secrets to making perfect banana chips every time. Now, it seems to me that banana chips would be one of the things that you would put on the easiest thing to dehydrate list of all of the projects to do. You simply slice it, put it on a tray, and dry it. You think? The thing is that banana slices tend to be one of the biggest failure points for many new dehydrators because they don't understand those secrets to making this the perfect project. So here we go. Let me show you how to do it. Now, of course, the secret to doing good banana chips is having the Goldilocks banana, the ones that are just right. Not too green, not too ripe. A few brown spots is fine, but not too much. And then I'm cutting these into planks, which gives me something like a little bit of a banana jerky. And then secret number 2, cut into super thin slices. What I'm doing here is cutting some that are less than 1/4 inch thick. Probably 3/16 would be a good one. You can use a mandolin if you'd like, but I found it was just as easy to go through here with my knife. And you can see how thin these are. And the last thing I'm doing here is getting an acid bath ready for the bananas. Now, oxidation happens when oxygen reacts with the enzymes of the banana and turns them dark, sort of the same way that apples do. You can pre-treat your lemons if you'd like to help reduce the amount of oxidation that happens, but I found that after doing all of my lemons, it didn't make a huge difference, and it's not worth doing. But one thing I can say, do not let these soak in this acid bath for a while. It will start to break down your lemons. Give it a few minutes, but not too long. Okay, as you can see, I'm just loading up my trays right now with plain bananas. These are just the plain banana chips. I haven't done anything to. I'm not going to pre-treat them. I may go ahead and do a little powder on them because that'll make them a little nicer. No, this is just going to be the plain ones. We're just going to do some testing. Plain banana chips. Get that one out from under. First tray, plain banana chips. So what we're doing now is just adding some things to our bananas to make them taste a little differently. I've got some peanut butter powder here. I'm just going to sprinkle this across the top. So you can take just a little bit, or you can just use your fingers and just sprinkle a little tiny bit across the top of them, just like this. Now you can do the same thing with hot cocoa mix, which is what I used right here to put on these bananas. Just take some out and sprinkle it across the top. You can do it with plain cocoa if you want. I just happen to grab our hot cocoa mix that we use all the time. And I've got the recipe for this. I'll have it up on the iCards for you. So in this last one, I took a little bit of raw honey and diluted it just a little bit. And I'm just going to go here and spread this on the top of my bananas. The reason I don't do full honey is that it does get a little bit goopy. And diluting it just a little bit helps make it not so much. And so we're going to stick these in the dehydrator as well. These are oxidizing quickly. So this is why some people like to go ahead and do the dip first. And we've got some of the planks here. You can see how oxidation just makes it turn a little brown. It doesn't affect the flavor or the taste or the way it dries. It just affects the way it looks. It's not a big deal. And if you wanted to, if you got some thicker pieces here, you could actually push them down and smash them up a little bit and kind of make like a fruit leather version of this, just like that. You see how I did that? These are our pre-treated slices. So they were just dipped basically for about 10 seconds in some acidified water with lemon juice, and I added some extra lime juice. You do not want to soak. Okay, if you soak these and just let them stay in there for a long time, especially if you're using that straight juice, what it's going to do is actually break down your banana, and you don't want that. You want a banana chip. So we've got our dehydrator set for 140, and then you typically would do fruit at 135, but because these aren't going to be stored, they're for snacking, I want to get them done a little faster. I'm just bumping up that temperature a little bit. And we're going to start. I have my time set at forever because it doesn't matter the time. These are going to take a very long time, so be prepared. You'll see some places say they're going to be done in 12 hours. That's pretty rare. When you're testing bananas, what you should not do is pick it up right now, right after you turn the machine on, and start trying to decide. It is going to be pliable and feel like it's not dry. This is not when you test it. You need to take out a sample and put it aside and let it sit for about 10 minutes, okay? Because the sugars in here are going to stay pliable while they're warm. So I have some regular size cut slices here. They're about 1/4 of an inch thick. I believe these were the lemon treated. And then here are some of our slabs. These are actually the slabs, just like this. So they are still very pliable. So this is not the time to test. Then these are our flavored honey, the hot cocoa, and then the hot chocolate, however you want to do it, and then the peanut butter. And the peanut butter is just like this, all still pliable. Now here are the super thin ones that I cut that are a little less than 1/4 of an inch. And we're going to pull these aside. Just take that one out so that we can test it and let it cool off and see what happens. These I know are going to take more time. They were very thick and they're going to need more time to dry. All right, so we've had 15 minutes or so for these to cool off, so I make sure they're totally cool. This is still very bendy. Okay, now some people may like this because they may like that chew more than like the crunch, and that would be fine. These are dry, they're not dry enough, okay, for storage. What you could do is you could keep these and you could keep them on the shelf, and you would need to go through them pretty quickly because you don't want to take the chance that some of these that may not be as dry as this one will start putting out moisture where it turns into mold. But if you like the chewiness, then you might want to keep it like this. You could keep it in the refrigerator or in the freezer to store, pull it out for when you're ready to eat. 10 minutes later, they'll be room temperature and they'll be fine. This one is obviously not dry. It's still bendy. It's getting there because you can start to hear it crack, but once you get a little further into that bend, it is a bend. These wouldn't even be something that I would call pliable. These are still not dry. They need more time. However, this one just picking it up, bro. Ready for this? That is a crunchy, dry banana slice. Banana. We're doing a little Despicable Me here with Minions. That is a dry slice. What was the secret to this? Super thin. Can you see how thin that is? Less than 1/4 of an inch. That's how thin these slices were. That's when you get a crunchy, snappy, dry banana. So let's get the rest of these dried, then we'll talk about storage and how to use them later. Okay, here are our bananas. These are just the plain bananas that were not treated. You can see some of them turned a little darker than others just because of that particular banana had a little more sugar content. Now I'm going to show you something that's really cool about when I talked about the silicone mesh that makes these bananas so, it makes them so easy with bananas. There's no sticking. They just come right off. And I haven't touched these at all. They're coming right off. So I can just roll it real quick and loosen them all up. Just like that. And they're ready to go. They are super thin, super crunchy. Just like that, but you can hear them. Good and dry, okay? So our next batch are the flavored. Now I realized I made a mistake when I was doing this and I should have done it before. The peanut butter powder did not stick to the banana tops because what I did is I sprinkled it on, but I didn't kind of push it into the flesh a little bit so that it would, the moisture of it would kind of hold on to it. So some of these, the peanut butter powder will stick, and some of them it's going to come off. There's still some sticking there. It's still going to be fine, but they're still going to be really good. This is the hot cocoa, just like that. Can you see? Hot cocoa. And then these are the honey dipped. Still snap apart. The honey does not affect the dry time or the quality of it as long as you give it the thin slice and the time to actually dry. These probably took a total of about 30 hours. But because I was also doing some of the thicker slices like this, the banana, like, I don't know what you would call these, bigger chips, snap apart, just like that. They're dry. And then here are the treated bananas. These were dipped in lemon juice and they still turned a little dark. So lemon juice isn't necessarily going to save your banana if it's overly ripe. If it's overly ripe, If it's overly ripe, you're still going to get some color change. The color change does not affect the taste at all. The flavor is still the same. And here are our banana jerky, banana planks, whatever you want to call them. And they should still snap. That's what you need. All right, let me show you two things you can do with these. Okay, this was through my Nutri Ninja, and it's a great grinder. But because I had such a small quantity, it's harder to keep it down in the blades because it gets flipped up a lot into it. So you can use something smaller. I use a Kasori coffee grinder that does the same thing. The thing you don't want to do is pulse this forever because it's going to get everything really clumpy and you don't want that. And that's a bit better. Okay, there is our banana powder. It smells like bananas. Now, storing this is going to be a problem. Banana powder is all sugar. I mean, it's like super concentrated sugar. So this needs to be stored with a moisture absorber in the smallest jar that you can possibly keep it in. You want it in the smallest spot. You want it in the smallest volume that you can possibly store this in. And it might help to actually put a little bit of arrowroot powder or cornstarch in here to help stop the clumping if you'd like, but a moisture absorber plus the smallest jar possible. I don't recommend doing this for storage. I recommend doing this as you need it. So if you're gonna like boost the banana flavor in a muffin, this can be a way to do it without adding the extra moisture of actual bananas or trying to rehydrate dried. This is gonna be a great flavor booster for a lot of things, but you can see already just the few minutes that it's been sitting here, it's not shaking easily. Okay, we're gonna make a trail mix parfait that we were jokingly calling the banana split trail mix, but we don't have any yogurt drops, which is the thing that you might want to add to this for this sort of dairy portion. We've got dried banana chips, we've got dried strawberries, we've got some chocolate chips, pepitas, we'll use those. Who needs peanuts? And some dried cherries on top. And then do it all over again. Just like that. Isn't that pretty? Such a cool trail mix that you can make for your kids for lunches or any other way that you're wanting to snack. So let's talk a little bit about why bananas are one of the biggest failure projects of dehydrating. But here's the difference, okay? This is a dehydrated banana. This is a dry banana that you would find at the store. The difference is this has been fried. This is not. This has been put into a solution and fried. You get a crunch like that. This one snaps like that. Now you can also get freeze-dried bananas that might be like this, but you need to look at the package to see what it says. And sometimes these can actually be plantains, but it should say on the package that it's a plantain and not a banana. But that's the difference between the two. They are not the same. And people expect things to taste like this. And they get this and they're disappointed and they don't understand that it needs the extra drying time, the thinner slice, and you can get a crunchy banana, but they're not going to be like fried. Now how to store these. An appropriately sized container. This is a little more than what goes into a half pint jar, so I'm using a pint jar because it's the closest thing I have. We're going to toss a moisture absorber inside, just like that. Cover it. And here are your bananas. Yes, you can vacuum seal this. It's going to be fine. But this is really all you need because you're going to end up eating all these before the month's out. So if you want to learn how to make strawberry chips the same way that we did banana chips, watch this video right here because it's soon to be strawberry season in North America. And until I see you again next time, happy dehydrating and keep preserving.